My wife started a marriage improvement YouTube channel where she used our arguments as content, calling me the walking example of why the bar is in hell for men. So I let her monetize my humiliation, then gave her a plot twist she couldn't edit out. Using a burner account for obvious reasons, all names have been changed to protect identities. I still can't believe I'm typing this, but the past few months have been surreal, and I need to get this off my chest. Maybe it will help someone else recognize the warning signs I missed. It started about 6 weeks ago when a coworker, Jim, caught me alone in the break room with this uncomfortable expression. "Hey, is your wife into content creation? YouTube or something?" That question caught me off guard. Kate had mentioned wanting to start a creative project about 3 months ago, but whenever I asked for details, she'd change the subject. I figured she was working on something she wanted to perfect before sharing. "I think so," I answered cautiously. "Why?" Jim looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. "My girlfriend follows her relationship advice channel. She recognized your living room in the background of a video." He reluctantly showed me his phone. The thumbnail featured Kate sitting in our living room with a provocative title, "My husband thinks saying sorry fixes everything? Red flag?" I felt my stomach drop. The incident she was referring to was a minor disagreement we'd had about household chores 2 weeks earlier, which we'd resolved amicably. Or so I thought. I thanked Jim and spent my lunch break watching her videos in my car. There were 26 of them, dating back about 3 months. Each one detailed interactions between us, carefully edited to make me look inconsiderate, lazy, or emotionally stunted. The walking example of why the bar is in hell for men, that's what she called me in her intro. Her 62,000 subscribers ate it up, filling the comments with support for her and contempt for the nameless, faceless husband she described. What hurt most was how skillfully she twisted reality. Arguments where we'd both been at fault became one-sided accounts of my apparent emotional immaturity. Minor disagreements were presented as major character flaws. And throughout it all, she maintained just enough anonymity, never using my name or showing my face, to have plausible deniability if confronted. That night, I watched Kate set up in our living room after dinner, claiming she was having a video chat with her sister. I pretended to work in our home office while she recorded yet another episode about how I'd bought the wrong type of coffee and had been defensive when corrected. In reality, I'd simply asked which brand she preferred so I could get it right next time. But her audience would never know that side of the story. The most disturbing part, she'd monetized the channel. Between ad revenue and her Patreon with 230 supporters, paying $5 to $15 monthly, she was making a decent side income from systematically misrepresenting our marriage. My first instinct was confrontation. But as a lawyer, I knew better than to act on emotion. Instead, I began documenting everything. I'm in a one-party consent state, so I legally recorded our conversations using my phone when we were together in common areas of our home. Nothing in private spaces like bathrooms or bedrooms. I wasn't looking to stoop to unethical tactics. I just needed evidence of our actual interactions. I also saved copies of her videos, backed up relevant text messages showing the reality of our relationship, and kept a journal detailing the discrepancies between our actual interactions and how she portrayed them online. I noticed something particularly troubling. Kate had started deliberately creating situations that would generate content. She'd leave messes in common areas, then film my reaction when I mentioned them. She'd ask loaded questions, hoping to capture a response she could edit into something controversial. Our home had become her studio, and I was an unwitting actor in her production. After 3 weeks of documentation, I had enough evidence to show this wasn't just exaggeration for entertainment. It was a systematic campaign of misrepresentation for profit. That's when I began phase 2 of my response. I started being the perfect husband, but with witnesses. I'd invite friends over more frequently. I'd suggest double dates where others could observe our dynamic. I volunteered us for couples activities where our interactions would be seen by mutual friends. All while Kate continued posting videos that contradicted what everyone around us was witnessing. Her channel hit 75,000 subscribers. She started being recognized at local stores. The money was now substantial enough that she'd reduced her hours at her graphic design job. Then came our 5th anniversary. I arranged a surprise dinner with our closest friends and family. About 20 people in total. People she'd specifically mentioned in her videos as witnessing my supposed bad behavior. The evening began at an upscale restaurant where I gave a heartfelt toast about our years together. I specifically addressed some incidents she distorted in her videos, presenting my perspective without revealing I knew about her channel. Remember when I forgot to pick up those design samples last month? Kate was so patient, even though it meant she had to rush her client presentation. I'm still grateful for your understanding, honey. Her momentary confusion told me everything. She knew I was contradicting her online narrative, but couldn't say anything without exposing herself. After dinner, I suggested we stop by our place for gifts before heading to a special location for dessert. When we arrived, everyone was already there for the surprise gathering I'd organized. As we mingled, Kate's sister Jen approached us with a glass of wine. "That was such a sweet toast at dinner," she said, then added casually, "Completely different from how you described it on your channel, Kate. I've been meaning to ask about that." Kate froze. "You watch my videos? Are you kidding? Rachel sent me a link months ago. She recognized your voice even though you never show your husband. I've seen most of them." She turned to me. "She never mentioned you knew about it." "About what?" I asked innocently. "Her YouTube channel," Jen continued, oblivious to Kate's growing panic. "Marriage Improvement with Kate. You're not in on it together?" "This is the first I'm hearing about it," I said. Kate's father joined our conversation. "You didn't know? Lisa and I watch it too. I always thought it was odd how different the husband in those videos sounds from you. We figured it was exaggerated for entertainment." The color drained from Kate's face as she realized her family had been silently watching her fabrications for months, drawing their own conclusions. Then came the moment I'd carefully planned. I asked for everyone's attention and pulled out my tablet connected to our TV. "Since we're celebrating our relationship tonight, I thought I'd share something special that Kate's been working on. For those who don't know, she has a YouTube channel about marriage." Her eyes widened in horror as I continued. "I discovered it about a month ago. At first, I was hurt by how she portrayed me. Then I noticed something interesting that I'd like to share with all of you." I played a compilation I'd created using split screen. On one side, clips from her videos describing incidents between us. On the other side, the actual recorded conversations showing what really happened. I'd carefully selected examples where the differences were undeniable, but not deeply personal or embarrassing. The room fell silent as they watched Kate describe me as dismissive and uncaring about her work deadline. Alongside the actual conversation, where I'd offered to help and rearranged my schedule to support her. Then came the clincher. Footage from our living room, a common area with no expectation of privacy, showing Kate deliberately staging situations, moving items I'd put away and then filming herself finding them, rehearsing lines about my supposed failings before recording, even laughing on the phone with someone about how these videos are like printing money, and how her audience will believe anything with the right editing. I stopped the video before it became excessive. "I'm not showing this to humiliate you, Kate. I'm showing it because I need everyone to understand what's been happening in our marriage. You've been systematically misrepresenting me to thousands of strangers for profit, and I can't continue in a relationship built on that foundation." The room remained silent. Kate's friend Maya finally spoke. "Is this for real? I've been commenting supportive things on every video thinking he was actually treating you badly." When our guests finally left, Kate confronted me. "I can't believe you recorded me and humiliated me in front of everyone we know." "That's what you're upset about?" I asked. "Not that you've been recording me without my knowledge for months? Not that you've built a brand around mocking and belittling me to strangers?" "It's just content," she insisted. "Everyone exaggerates online. It's not personal." "It's absolutely personal," I replied. "You've made 37 videos in the last 3 months calling me lazy, emotionally stunted, and inconsiderate. You've edited our private moments to create a fictional version of me that bears no resemblance to reality. How is that not personal?" She struggled to justify herself. The first video got more views than anything I'd ever posted. Then the comments started coming in, the subscribers, the Patreon supporters. It just snowballed. So monetizing my humiliation became acceptable because it was profitable? She couldn't meet my eyes. "You don't understand the pressure of content creation. Once you find something that works." "I understand perfectly," I interrupted. "But this wasn't a one-time mistake. This was hundreds of deliberate decisions to misrepresent our relationship, day after day, for months." That was 3 weeks ago. She's taken down most of her videos, though some clips have already been reposted by others. After her initial shock, she posted a vague apology video that only fueled speculation and drama among her followers. Some have turned against her, while others still believe her original portrayal of me. I filed for separation and moved into a short-term rental. Her family has been surprisingly supportive of me, not just because of what she did to me, but because they feel manipulated as well. They thought they were watching exaggerated stories with my knowledge and consent, not a systematic campaign of deception. Kate has tried multiple approaches to reconcile, claiming it was just a misunderstanding, suggesting couples therapy, even offering to post videos praising me instead. She doesn't seem to grasp that the fundamental issue isn't the content of the videos, but the breach of trust they represent. A few people have criticized my methods, saying I could have confronted her privately first. Perhaps I could have. But after watching her carefully manufacture situations specifically to make me look bad, I wanted her to experience what it felt like to have someone control the narrative about you without your input. The plot twist she couldn't edit out wasn't just being exposed at the party, it was facing the unfiltered reality of her actions in front of the people whose opinions actually matter to her, with no ability to cut, edit, or filter the truth. I'm not sure what happens next for either of us. She's lost most of her income from the channel and damaged relationships with friends and family. I'm working through the complex emotions of betrayal while trying to rebuild my life. If there's a lesson here, maybe it's about the dangers of treating real relationships as content. Or perhaps it's simpler. Don't build a brand around mocking someone who has the ability and motivation to reveal the unedited truth.